What up everybody, this is your Borg Mark Master coming into a new discussion video of Dragon Ball The Breakers. It has been about like 3 to 4 months ever since Golden Frieza has been arrived to Breakers. He's, as you all know, he's been like a scam raider, which been, upsetting for all of us, where he had to be a remake raider where they had to rework him as Golden Frieza. I mean, he's a fun raider though, but it's not really much for him during the last season. So we're about to be reaching up to season 9, where they announced it in Twitter, where they shown a tease video where they shown 3 question marks, and I come to you by the conclusion of who I honestly know that's gonna be the next raider in Breakers. Most of y'all should be all aware of this too, besides, just me. The most raiders that we know of, that they show in the teaser, where they show 3 question marks, is gonna be obviously the androids. AKA 16, 17, 18. Why? Because, they were in the Android Saga and they kind of skipped them out for Cell to be in, because they came first before the Cell games came around, with Cell coming around, absorbing the androids, so it's pretty much obvious, because it's 3 question marks and it would relate to 3 androids, that's 16, 17, 18 to come in. So you guys should be aware of that too, and and plus we had Baby, who was in season season 7. No wait, I think it was actually season 6. I think, yeah, Baby was in season 6 as I recall. Yeah, who was from GT. And what I do know, the raider will be Ozzy Super 17, who's gonna be the main raider that we're gonna be taking on, other than just the androids. Because I'm gonna explain to you how he will level up to level 4. So I would say, let's see, come by this. Let's see. The way how they would start off, they were also gonna start with level 1, that is 16. 16 would be pretty much obvious, because he was one of the ones that came in appearance, but not right after 17, 18 made appearance, but they broke him out of the chamber. So I would say he will also be level 1. So the way how I would think he will operate is that he'll also attack people regularly, when he using his rocket fist, because his rocket fist will do a tracking damage, and whether if the survivors dodges it, his rocket punch will be Ozzy an accurate hit on them, where whether they dodge it, it'll still redirect back to them, and they still take damage from it anyway. And plus, and when they get hit by it, I think it will still lead tracking on them, where 16 can find where they are, right after the rocket fist hit them. So who knows? It could be obvious where we're gonna be seeing rocket punch as one of his movesets. And honestly, we're gonna be probably seeing I-beam. I think I-beam will be one of his movesets too. It'll be just a manual aim, where it's not gonna be doing any tracking. It'll do a little less significant amount of damage, to the survivors, but it wouldn't be all that that strong. But I would say yeah, his I-beam will also be his maybe his super attack, or probably his ki blast attack. I mean, we might probably be seeing him doing a ki blast moves, maybe a big AoE damage. But it all depends how he'll operate as level 1 though. But what I do know, the way we would have to kill 16s, where we had to gang up on him, beat him up, but whenever we beat him up, I would say Ozzy would switch to Android 18, because Android 18 would Ozzy be the level 2, because she'd be a little more stronger than 16. So yeah, he'll Ozzy get ganged up by survivors, and when he gets down to 0, he'll Ozzy automatically switch to 18, because we would have to defeat all the androids in order to win the match. It would clearly be obvious, because they would be the Gammas, because when we beat up Android Gamma 2, I mean, when we beat up Gamma 2, he switches to Gamma 1 as level 2. And if Gamma 1 succeeds, he would bring back Gamma 2, and it'd be like dual Raiders as level 3. So I was gonna say the way how it is, yeah, I think like if 16 goes down, he'll obviously like a switch to 18, but I don't think like 16 will do anything. Because I think he'll be literally dead. So 18 would have to take the front seat. So I would say it would be pretty much accurate where 16 would be down. He wouldn't be able to do anything afterwards. But I would say like if 16 succeeds by killing survivors and probably like civilians, it depends. If he does kill survivors and civilians, that's where he'll obviously switch to 18, and then he'll probably be like a tracking survivors, kind of like Goldo, because it would pretty much be obviously accurate where he'd be a good tracker where he finds all the survivors. Yeah, so he'll be like a Goldo based type of raider where he's gonna help out 18, like a kind of like sort of like a duel, but he'd be a tracker. He'd be kind of like Zamasu based, where like Zamasu would track survivors around. So I would say like if he succeeds on killing certain amount of civilians, certain amount of survivors, he'll obviously be like being the seeker, where he's gonna help 18 find the rest of the main survivors. It would make a lot of sense. But what I do know, his moveset, he obviously would have self-destruct, because like the way how he tried to self-destruct Cell in the tournament, but he couldn't succeed. But I would think they gotta add that in Breakers, because he would just be like a Cyberman base, because Cyberman when he gets somebody, he self-destructs on them and it'd be a fatal kill, and that's where he switched to Nappa. So I think they're gonna do that exact same way, where 16, where he self-destructs as a survivor, it'd be a fatal kill on them, and then he'll automatically switch to 18. But when doing that, it'll be a suicide anyway, because 16 won't be available as a raider no more. He'll always be killed, and he wouldn't really seek out the survivors if he suicides himself. I think that's what Bandai would plan on doing. Like, it's either like he'll kill them regularly and then switch to 18 and help her find survivors as a seeker, or he'll self-destruct himself and he be no longer capable of helping 18 find survivors. It would pretty much be obvious. So next, I would say with 18, since she's gonna be obviously level 2, I do know one of her movesets is gonna be obviously Destructo Disc, because it gives off a stun and it does give tracking on survivors. So like survivors would have a hard time dealing with 18 because of Destructo Disc. And plus, I would say like her Destructo Disc would be obviously one of her base attacks, and her ultimate attack will obviously be dual Destructo Disc. Like in Xenoverse, it would make a pretty much good sense, because she'll fire like she'll throw like two Destructo Discs at the survivor, which will do like halfway damage of their dragon change, and it also does tracking as well, which will be pretty unfair. And I would say like her secondary moveset will always be either the volley or the wave ki blast. It would pretty much be obvious where we're gonna be seeing those as her ultimate attacks. So yeah, it would pretty much be obvious, and she will obviously would have like super afterimage. I don't know if they would give 16 super afterimage. I do know they're obviously gonna give 16 energy barrier, just like 18. Like they all have energy barriers, which would pretty much be obvious, where they can evade against any attacks. And plus the androids like 18, she will obviously have energy drain, where she can drain out their dragon chains, drain out the survivors' dragon chains. And while at the same time, I would think when draining down their dragon chains, it'll increase her evolution gauge. It'll pretty much be a fast evolution gauge, where she can like get up to like 17, who will be obviously level 3, because her brother will be like more stronger than her. So it'll pretty much be a quick way how they'll do the androids, where 17 and 18, they'll also be absorbing dragon chains from all the survivors. It'll pretty much be a guaranteed obvious thing. And when absorbing their dragon chains, like I said, it'll increase their evolution gauge much faster, so they can switch to the next raider, and get them more of an upper hand. But I don't think it would like increase their health back. I don't think they would bring their health back when drain out their Dragon Chains. I think they'll just do it just to increase, evolution gaze. But mostly, like, they would have to, like, touch them directly. They had to go and directly touch them, in a direct attack, so they can absorb their Dragon Chain, so they can get up to their gates quickly and level up to the next raider, So, anywho, I would say that it'll be pretty much obvious with 18. She'll obviously have Destructive Disc, I would say Energy Drain, Energy Barrier, obviously, and who knows, she might probably have After Image. It could make sense, but I would say like she might probably just have like 3 movesets. It would pretty much be obvious. So, or unless if like she can summon 16, is 16 be able to survive in battle? Like it's like where she would he'll help find survivors for her. So I would say that would be a good conclusion on that. So I'm gonna get right on to 17. So the way how 17 is as a level 3 raider, he'll obviously, he will, like I said, he will have to absorb, Dragon Chains to get up to level 4. And yeah, and honestly, his moveset will always be, Super Dragon, Dragon Strike. If you guys get what I mean, Electric Strike. It will pretty much be obvious because we already got that in the game, as our movesets for, by the transfers. It's pretty much an obvious thing. We're obviously gonna get Super Electric Strike. Because Super Electric Strike does like a severe amount of damage, because it does like crazy, AoE, where you can't really avoid it. So I would think say like, 17 could be a very menace, because Super Electric Strike would do like so much damage. Like the survivors would hardly have a time, to be able to counter that, whether they have Super After Image, Super Electric Strike. So it would do like a significant amount of damage to them more than the Raider, And obviously, like he'll have Energy Drain, like I said, like where it's, he'll drain out the Dragon Chains. But I don't know if they absorb like Dragon Chains energy. I don't know if their attacks will get stronger. But I guess I would say their evolution gates will get faster anyway, but not their movesets will get stronger. I don't think so. I don't think it will work like that. And I would say like you have probably like consecutive energy blasts where he'll attack, rapid ki blast at them. It could pretty much be obvious too, and we may see After Image. Like he may have After Image, and obviously he will have Energy Barrier, but it all depends. But I would say he will pretty much have like just 3 super attacks, and his ultimate attack will also be the volley or the wave attack. It depends, and Super Electric Strike will be obviously his signature attack. So he'll pretty much be a menace in the game if he actually comes in season 9, which is I think is pretty obvious where he's obviously gonna be the main raider. And I would say if you have enough evolution gaze, enough like he'll obviously fuse to his other half, because his other half was created by Dr. Mule. If you guys don't know who Dr. Mule is, he's one of Goku's enemies that he fought, that kind of destroyed his lab and stuff, and he's the one that kind of created Baby. So he came back for revenge in the other world, and he was using like the bad 17 to fuse with the other half to get 17, and they end up fusing into one ultimate android. So I would definitely say that's what's gonna happen. Like where like if he gets up to level 4, he's gonna fuse with his other half, and then he's gonna fuse into Super 17, which is gonna be pretty much obvious. And the way how I see Super 17, how he'll work in the game, like Super 17 would be a real menace because he has Shocking Death Ball, which would, well, it doesn't do tracking, but it'll probably like leave the survivors like stunned temporarily, where they can't really get away. Kind of like with Cell's Kamehameha, it leaves a temporary stun. And if they manage to played it accurately, I would say probably the way how it worked. I don't think it would do like tracking really. I think it was just leave a stun attack, but it would do like maybe like halfway damage to the Dragon Change. So I think it's pretty much obviously it will be his ultimate attack. So and I believe like his secondary attack will also be that wave attack. It would pretty much be obvious. But let's see. I think his next boost set obviously be Flash Bomber because it'd be like a rapid blast too. But I think it like survivors would have a hard time avoiding that attack because it does like kind of like scattering, kind of like a scattering attack, like where like it hits like every area around where you can hardly dodge it. So it's pretty much a guarantee obvious. And I would say like he'll also have Drain Field like in Xenoverse, where he'll pretty much absorb like any Dragon Chains move, like any like Ki Blast move. I mean, like if they hit him with Kamehameha, he'll also absorb the attack with Drain Field, which will probably like maybe like I would say it'll probably like give him his health back, because you know when he be at level 4, he can't reabsorb, like, so he can get more Dragon Chains, well, evolution gaze energy anyway. So I would say it'll pretty much heal him, but at the same time, I think he'll probably like gain back his movesets. Probably like his cooldown might get faster, where he'll get his moveset back up like when using like Drain Field. And it would pretty much be odds, like he'll pretty much have like a faster cooldown, like if survivors hit him with a Ki Blast attack like Kamehameha, or maybe like Super Kamehameha. It would do like a significant amount of maybe health back, or like cool chains back up, where he can use like Blast Bomber, or maybe like his energy barrier. I would say like he'll have energy barrier, or maybe like a Charge Ki Wave. I'm not sure how that is. And probably we might see Thunder Racer, because he also leaves the survivors, you know, blinded, and plus like temporary stun for a bit, and that's where he'll probably go with a follow-up Shocking Death Ball move. So I would say that would pretty much sum it up. Yeah, so I would say like the Android's gonna be pretty much obviously Raiders. So pretty much they could be a guaranteed threat, especially 17, where he can absorb, you know, any Dragon Change energy. So I think that will sum it up, guys. It will pretty much be odds. Like the androids will either be Season 9's Raiders. So I'd like to know in your comments below what you think of my opinion. You think the androids is gonna be in Season 9? I'd like to know in your comments. So if you guys enjoyed this discussion, I hope you hit the like button, and like I said, tell me in the comments below, you think the androids are a guaranteed Raiders to be the next game. I'd like to know it by your opinion. So stay tuned on the next one anyway. Later.